All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It is Phil Nagy, it is Kit Nagy, and it is time for the Super Bowl, my friends. Super Bowl 57 here. Looks like we're in the Cardinals Stadium, which I think checks out. I think that's right. In Arizona here for Super Bowl 57 as we finish up our make-believe 2022 sim season with rosters that we prefabricated on our own. And now that we know who really has drafted which players, we'll redo the entire season over again, but we're going to finish this one first. So, Kit, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Excited for this. This is definitely a matchup of some pretty stacked rosters. Very, very good teams coming from both the AFC and NFC. Obviously, the Rams having just come fresh off their Super Bowl win from the previous year, and then, never count out the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, what more can you need to say about that?
Not a whole lot. All right, so here we go. Let's bring it to you again. This will be the official end of our faux 2022 sim, and then we'll get to the real 2022 sim with Browns games and AFC, NFC game of the weeks as well. But first, we're going to get this one started. That's the rookie from Minnesota, Muhammad Ibrahim, who I don't even think actually was draft eligible this year. So once again, just a reminder of the fakeness of the rosters.
Right out the gate, yep.
All right, here's a look at what Stafford did this season. 3,800 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And he is going to start with double tight ends in a split set. Cam Akers alone in the backfield. And Stafford's going to give it to him on the right side. Akers, nice little cut in the hole. He's got a first down past the 30, and then he'll go down at the 31-yard line. Great run on first down, Cam Akers.
Yeah, nice run indeed, and really just continuing what they were doing in their NFC Championship game, finding ways to create those holes on the line, and Cam Akers taking advantage.
They murdered the Cowboys in that game.
They sure did.
Here's Stafford, plenty of time to throw. He's got a wide-open receiver over the middle. And that's going to be number 17 on the catch. Allen Robinson, of course, coming over to replace Robert Woods from the Chicago Bears. Probably even an upgrade at that position. So now Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson, along with the second-year player Van Jefferson.
And it didn't even have the last-minute crazy shenanigans of an attempted comeback like the other game, which at least made that one entertaining. If the Patriots trying to come back with some improbable nonsense near the end, but that one was just wire to wire. Rams dominating.
It sure was. All right, a sack, first of the day for the Chiefs defense, credited to Frank Clark and Chris Jones collectively.
I think the biggest indication of that was CeeDee Lamb being targeted a grand total of 4 times in that game with 3 catches. It's just not a recipe for success with the Dallas offense.
It is not. All right, well, there's an injury, unfortunately, to the left tackle, Dwayne Brown. And they're going to pick up about 13 yards, but they're still a little bit short. So 4th and 5, and it looks like they will punt the football away. Of course, Johnny Hecker leaving this year, the All-American man, headed to Carolina to punt for James's Panthers.
Nice punt.
This coming season, it was a great punt. All right, here he is, Patrick Mahomes. Here's a look at what he did this regular season. How about 5,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for Mr. Mahomes, and he has his Chiefs back in the Super Bowl for the 3rd out of the last 4 years.
Yeah, that's impressive in and of itself. That's the dance everyone tries to get to, and it's no small feat just to get there.
Absolutely. Here's Edwards-Helaire, big hole to the left side. He's past the 15. He's got the first down marker. He breaks a tackle from Rapp, and he's past the 20 to the 22. How about 15 yards on first down for Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah, it's the EH saying, if you can create space and do good work out in open field, watch me. So that was good work there from him.
Absolutely. Mahomes, a little pressure up his face from you-know-who, and Aaron Donald forces an incompletion. He's just unblockable at times.
Oh, he is.
Unreal.
It is unreal. The dude is really good at that position.
And I was to say, and that's not just video game-ness. Like, he's a regular splitter and demolisher of double teams.
Oh, no, yeah. We saw it in the NFC Championship, a couple where I thought it was a single block, just splitting double blocks like it effortlessly.
3rd and 5, but they'll swing it out of the out of the backfield to CEH, and he is going to pick up the first down. Rookie safety Nick Cross makes the tackle out of Maryland. Of course, I know a lot of Browns fans wanted him, and he went a little bit earlier than one of our picks. Did Nick Cross, the safety out of Maryland. A little surprising the Browns didn't draft a safety, Kit. We didn't really talk much about it. I know Emerson maybe becomes that eventually, but I think he's going to be more slot right away, especially with the trading of Troy Hill. Are you surprised they didn't go with safety depth? Is Aaron Donald's going to pick up a sack here?
No, and I'm actually not so sure they're going to start him in the slot because I'm not sure he has the quick twitch that they want in the slot to start. So they might be more likely to lean on kicking in Greg Newsome or Greedy Williams into that slot. We'll see how they end up choosing to do that.
Oh, what a catch by Hardman inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. They went for it on a 3rd and long, went deep, and Hardman brings it in. First down.
Continuance of his monster day from his AFC Championship as he went, he's starting out strong here in this one as he was like the bulk of the Chiefs' offensive attack as he had like almost 200 yards on like 12 receptions or something.
Yeah, he was, and he beat Jalen Ramsey, the best cornerback in the video game, ratings-wise. Mahomes in the zone, and he will wisely throw this one out of bounds. Live to play another down. They're going to spread him out 5 wide. He's alone in the backfield.
But they did pick up an undrafted free agent safety.
Yes, I saw that.
So they did get one.
Here's Hardman slant, touchdown Chiefs.
And I think, they're really pretty comfortable, especially now that Ronnie came back. I think they're really comfortable with their safety room. They've got a ton of versatility back there. Really, all 3 of those guys can reasonably play any of the positions. You're probably not leaning on Ronnie quite as much as the free safety per se, but the other 2 certainly are.
You could put Delpit in the slot and then roll JG3 and Ronnie over the top.
And I think they're going to do quite a bit of that. I think they're going to have that kind of that hybrid, both slot nickel / small linebacker role in the dime quite a bit. Them playing like a opposite JOK kind of in that kind of that monster linebacker role, which is great because it's like this hybrid between a nickel corner and a strong safety, in that they can be up there in the box and challenge the run, but at the same time they've got good coverage for those slot receivers, quick twitch, small area coverage.
Indeed. All right, another nice run of 5 yards for Cam Akers. Now they have 3 tight ends to the left side. They'll run it behind those 3 tight ends. And this time the Chiefs are not fooled. They're going to stop them. Justin Reed, the safety who came over in free agency to kind of help replace Tyrann Mathieu and Dirty Dan Sorensen, who both left in free agency.
Yeah, we all remember that hit.
We do. Stafford throws. He's got a wide open Jefferson to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line by Justin Reed.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson with a big play.
We saw the Chiefs go out in this draft and address very significant issues on that defense for reasons like that. They don't want to see stuff like that happening because they're having to rely so heavily on their offense to win them games. The defense has really not been holding the bag, if you will, and allowing big gashing plays. So that was clearly an area that they wanted to address in this draft, and they went a lot of defensive prospects.
For sure. There was another rookie, Brandon Smith, linebacker out of Penn State, there on the tackle after a 2-yard throw and catch. Stafford's going to loop this one out of bounds. It's 3rd and 8. Welcome in, George. Morning.
Go Browns.
Go Browns. Stafford's in a shotgun on a 3rd and 8. He's back to pass. Wines fires left side. He's got Robinson, but there are 2 tacklers there, including L'Jarius Sneed, who just came back from an injury. And L'Jarius Sneed is going to tackle him short of the line to gain. I would assume that they will trot out the kicker, and it looks like they will.
Yeah, unfair advantage. You get a little sneak peek preview of what's actually coming. Whereas I have to wait for the actual thing to cut to it, and I'm like sitting here.
No, that's true. Oh, he missed it. I think he pushed it right.
No, it said it was good.
Oh, it said it was good. Just bounced off the netting weirdly.
Yeah, it said it was good. It almost looked like it hit the crossbar and bounced up.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe like the curved part on the back that holds it or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was odd.
It's up and it's good. I think that's Riley Patterson is their kicker. I don't know who their real kicker is. I'll have to look it up. Maybe they still have Matt Gay. All right, 7-3, so both teams do get on the scoreboard on their previous drives. Pat Mahomes still in the zone. Let's see what he can do here to follow up that big touchdown drive. Again, it was the McCole Hardman show, which again sounds like it's very much on brand from what he did in the championship game.
Absolutely.
2nd and 10. 4 wide receivers out, although one of them is Travis Kelce. Mahomes in a shotgun. He's back to pass. He's going to roll to the right side. He's going to get around his rusher, and then he's going to throw it out of bounds. 3rd and 10.
And speaking of kickers, how about the our rookie kicker? I know a lot of folks didn't want a kicker that early in the draft. We'll have to see what he actually turns out to be. But in terms of body types and kicker types, he's kind of in that Justin Tucker mold in terms of that lengthy kicker with that kind of because we've had a lot of shorter, more compact kickers recently in Browns history, and there are some body mechanics that go into kicking, obviously, which we'll see how this actually pans out for us, but it could be very good with that body type. We'll see how it works out.
I know a lot of people are super excited about Winfrey just because of his energy and the fact that he's been calling himself a dog since he was all those things.
That video was fun.
And it is infectious, which is awesome. But I think that Cade York is the pick that I'm the most excited about.
Well,
if
Cade
we
York
could just lock in a decade and a half of quality kicking, that would be a lovely thing.
Right. Well, I mean, there's nothing saying that Perry and Winfrey couldn't be that for our D line. If he ends up being an Aaron Donald light, who wouldn't love to have that? But
sure, absolutely.
But on the other hand, and I've talked about this a bunch with fans. What a hit! Wow, just jarred that loose. Although we're going to get a roughing the passer in the process, but that was an incredible hit to knock that loose. If it weren't for a penalty on Chris Jones, we'd have had a beautiful defensive play there.
We would have.
But yeah, so Cade York, though, if he does pan out, I've been talking to a lot of folks we took it too soon and whatever. But you got to remember, if a kicker like that does pan out, and we've got a decade plus of that quite literally lost us games. The difference between having a kicker and not having a kicker that is reliable, and if you have a Justin Tucker and you don't have to worry about it anymore, that is just wins in your win column right there. I guarantee you that is wins in the win column. So having that guy that is just, you trot him out there and he's Mr. Reliable, and you have him, and if you draft that, I don't care where you take him in the draft, so long as he is a guy that
take him in the first round. I don't care. Gosh,
the value is so underrepresented.
Yes.
And here is the thing that I found interesting. Did you hear Jeremiah talking about Cade York on the draft broadcast?
I didn't. Oh, Daniel Jeremiah?
Yeah.
I did not. No, that was the day that I was not watching live.
Yeah, so he's a kicker, and you'd be surprised, but this guy was actually in my top 100 prospects.
Yeah.
He had a kicker. This is the first time he's ever had a kicker in his top 100.
There you go.
So
we'll take it.
Yeah. And I know it's undervalued, a lot of folks, but, in terms of game value, and remember, the Browns analytics, from an analytics perspective, they're all about how do you produce the game, how do you produce those wins. A big part of producing those wins is being reliable with the kicking game, and, so they put a lot of value in that, so there's no surprise to me that they went and got a kicker. I very much expected them to, and I'm not surprised that it was Cade York, and I'm not surprised that it was in the 4th round, because they're going to put that value on it. So I think it was important.
Well, and they did look with Bojorquez and Jakeem Graham. Clearly special teams as a whole was something that they felt like was not where they wanted it to be.
Well, what was funny about that, now that you mention it, yes, there's only 3 real or 4 true special teams positions, if you will. But it's kind of been interesting, first year, let's focus on the offense, get ourselves a tackle, get ourselves, so then second year, focus on the defense, let's get ourselves, a safety, get ourselves, and so they go and focus, and then third year, let's go fix our special teams, and they go and get literally all of them. except for the long snapper, who we do have Charlie Hula is a very reliable long snapper, which has been very solid player for us for years.
For sure. Here's a 2nd and goal. They're going to give it to Akers, and he's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams, as they retake the lead here in Super Bowl 57. Yeah, it's almost like if you actually give a general manager, more than a year to do his 3-year plan.
Yeah. No, that's a big part of it too.
And I'm sure that Andrew Berry has a 5-year plan and an 8-year plan and a 12-year plan, and you know what I mean? He's got all of the plans. So it's kind of like, hey, you actually gave me an opportunity to do what I said what I was going to do, which is over the course of 3 years, we will shore up each phase of the football team.
Absolutely. Well,
and then it's just about building and padding, and then extending the guys that need to extend. Yep. Getting rid of the churning the lower half of the roster.
Yep.
And maximizing cap flexibility when you have it. Those kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, and I think the biggest indication of, or what really allowed all of this, the most important part, that is a throw at the back of the knees of Kelsey. That was
sure.
The biggest, most important, thing that allows for all of this is that all rowing in the same direction, because they don't
Correct.
have a GM fighting a coach, and all that discord that we've
Absolutely.
had for years, because they brought them all in together. Really,
100%.
they allowed DePodesta to get his guys in there,
Correct.
but are aligned
sure.
with him. But that alignment has been crucial to allow all of this.
Absolutely. All right, incomplete pass now, a 4th and 10, and another punt upcoming. So the Chiefs are not able to answer the Rams' touchdown drive with anything more than a punt. Again, Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy joining you here as we finish up our 2022 pre-draft sim season. Again, tried to stay liquid with some of the free agents, so as people signed, I tried to make the moves as best I could, but obviously the rosters are not fully correct, nor could they be. There's just not enough hours in the day for me to do
right.
that.
And we're going to get a lot closer here in this next
Yes.
sim season. Obviously,
We
post-draft helps a lot. But again, we can only do projections for what final 53s are going to look like. We're not going to
For sure.
We're not going to have real answers on that front either. And things will happen even later
Absolutely.
into the before season. Like, for example, what if somebody gets
Clowney doesn't sign till camp or something.
Right, yeah, or even what would a little bit more newsworthy for the league, like what if one of the quarterbacks goes down and Baker Mayfield is suddenly the starting quarterback somewhere we don't expect, because and they go down in like mandatory minicamp for the season, and then we're like, well, there goes Baker Mayfield in for value, which is exactly what the front office is looking for,
Right. And some of the draft picks, try as these draft classes might, I know there's already, like the Browns' 7th rounder, the center isn't in the draft class, so I'll have to do some making of some of the picks as well. But we'll try to get him as close as we can. And that's assuming you think that guy's going to even make the ride. I don't know if he cracks the 2 deep behind Harris and Pacic. So,
yeah, I was actually trying to look at some of the prospects just in like the Draft Network write-ups on some of these guys, and like even Isaiah Thomas, who major program Oklahoma, didn't even show up, didn't even have a write-up on him. I'm like, it's just like, it's surprising to me considering how big that program is, and it's not like they didn't know he was coming out. So.
Yep. All right, a nice first down there for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Got about 11 minutes to go here in the first half. They trail by 3. Trips to the right side, but he'll look and swing it left side to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he's going to stiff arm his way through Taylor Rapp. Only going to pick up 4 yards in the process of that stiff arm, though. 2nd and 7. Mahomes back to pass. Now he'll roll right. Now he's going to take off. Dump. He's going to hold up and throw it quickly over the middle, kind of dangerously into traffic. That's a catch, though, by his receiver, MVS, Marquise Valdez-Scantling, who, of course, did actually come over in free agency.
And Williams actually had a shot at that. He's, fortunate Williams didn't pick that.
Indeed, he is. Brian Asamoah, rookie linebacker, speaking of Oklahoma draft picks, on the tackle on that play, 2nd and 11.
I was surprised to see three OU players come to the Browns. That's, and I don't think they even realized it when they were doing it. That
ball's out. It's picked up by Creed Humphrey, the center. He's got some. Oh, he takes a huge hit from Asamoah.
Wow.
And a second sack for Aaron Donald pins him way back to the 33, 3rd and 24 coming up.
How good is Aaron Donald? There's only so many players that while they're playing, the dude's wearing a gold jacket, no doubt. I mean, there's only so many of those.
Absolutely.
There are some that, they finish up their career and you're like, okay, yeah, sum total, he's probably going to the Hall. But, the ones that, while they're playing and you're watching them play, you're going, this dude's going to the Hall. There aren't that many of that level of elite, because it takes a certain level to where their play is just oh, my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, 10-7. Rams will get the football back. 8.5 to go here, first half.
But sorry, you were trying to make a point, I think, about the OU drafts.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think the receiver was actually a grad transfer, so he was only there for this past season.
Yeah, he had played at Arkansas, Woods.
Correct.
And he actually struggled at OU. He had a real down season, which I think is why he dropped in the draft. But looking at his the write-up on him, especially his older tape prior to that last season.
Sweet cut.
Yeah, it was a sweet cut. Nice little bounce to the outside there. But looking at his write-up, looks like he's actually he's got potential to be really good. He might have been a huge steal too.
Yep. Yeah, and honestly, the one I'm the most intrigued about is the undrafted rookie free agent Isaiah Weston.
Yeah.
The kid that they signed, he actually had better stats than Christian Watson in, whatever they call it, 1AA or whatever, not Division I or whatever it is. But the dude's 6'4", he's big, he runs 4.3, he's a traits guy. So if they can craft that into a solid receiver, they may have a real steal.
Yeah, Mason, I think we're going to go ahead and assume that Clowney's coming back and probably put him on the roster for the Browns because it's very highly likely, I would say at this point, he's coming back to the Browns. I don't think it's at all outside of the realm of possible that he'll be there. In fact, I think there's a very good chance of that. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that move. Because it would be fun to watch that D-line anyway. I mean, that's going to be, if he does come back, that's going to be a nasty D-line, man. I mean, it's already going to be good, but with Clowney in the mix, oh man, look out.
Well, look out indeed. There's the rookie Alec Pierce. Another quality receiving target for Pat Mahomes. We're at about 5.5 to go here. Super Bowl 57. Good to have you on, Mason. Here comes a little play action to the right side. Nobody's going to block the outside rusher, though. And Justin Hollins, number 58, big-time sack on Mahomes, 3rd and long.
Yeah, big sack indeed. I'm kind of surprised that Mahomes didn't even attempt to scramble there. I think he probably felt that prep coming, but just kind of stood there and took it.
He had to have seen it for sure. More pressure coming. This time it's Leonard Floyd, and he'll sack him back. 4th and long.
Hey, Sean, welcome in. Go Browns. And yeah, Mason, I'm with Nathan Zagura on this, who's been saying, every day that goes by feels more and more likely that Clowney just re-signs with the Browns. I think especially post the Deshaun Watson trade, I think that's, he's obviously, the interest is still there and even greater probably because that's when reports of him coming back sounded even more likely. But also, because the Browns very much still in the mix. I think, partly that's because he's played with Deshaun and knows what Deshaun gives a team. But then, he wants to be part of the Super Bowl team as Kupp comes open just in time to salvage something for Stafford. Stafford had a ton of guys in his face there.
Yeah, but throw kind of underthrew it a little bit. Kupp comes back to the ball nicely.
Yep, But I think Clowney coming to the Browns is I wouldn't call it guaranteed just yet, but it's a very high chance that he'll be back.
Quick little dump off to the left side. Van Jefferson, just a short gain of 2 on the reception, but it does put them into Chief territory. About 3 minutes to go here. Opportunity for the Rams to take a bigger lead into halftime. Little wiggle in the pocket for Cam Akers, they're just going to give him a no gain on the play.
Yeah, Sean, we're absolutely stoked about the Bell pick. Obviously,
Yes.
Very, very high on him. Think he is potentially one of the steals of the draft. A lot of guys had at least a round 2 grade on him. I could argue for a late first round grade on him.
Yeah.
But the dude's an absolute stud. Yeah, he's not the fastest guy, but he creates with he's such a technician already. And does some really impressive stuff, and that is going to translate in such a big way at the next level because he already has the skill set refined that most folks have to start working on when they get there. And the fact that he's already at that level, he's one of the highest floor, highest ceiling prospects we've had in a long time outside of like a JOK.
Nice little throw out of the backfield to Edwards-Helaire. That's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Yeah, again, it's not a straight apples to apples comparison, but he's a slightly taller, slightly faster, significantly younger, and way cheaper version of Jarvis Landry.
Yep, absolutely.
And I don't know if, obviously, you cannot, codify the locker room stuff, and I don't think he's as much of a rah-rah guy as Jarvis Landry. But in terms of production and being able to plug a guy right in and maybe not see much of a drop-off from that position, I think he's the perfect option for them.
For sure.
And I think all but 5 of their 7 guys were 21 years old. Like, that's a huge thing for Andrew Berry, is drafting young guys.
Well,
I think Isaiah Thomas is 24, and they were like, this is the oldest player he's drafted by 2 years, ever. So
right.
Pretty wild.
But you also didn't take him in the 3rd. He took him in the 7th, right? So
For sure.
But there's a lot. I mean, I think he was just going best player available at that point, and he's like, the age at that point doesn't really matter.
Correct.
Less of a factor. Not that it's always considered, but certainly not as big of a factor when he's that much lower in the draft.
Versus like Alex Wright, who is 21 and has all kinds of crazy measurables, super fast, really tall, huge frame. Like, he's built like Myles Garrett. He's actually taller than Myles. So it could be a really, really nasty compliment over the next 8 to 10 years there too.
Oh yeah, it'd be huge. I mean, if he really pops, as we hope he will, look out. That D line is set for years to come. But and that's true both with him and with Perry and Winfrey and really all those guys that brought into that room, have the potential. Not to mention Togiai and Elliott and
Taven Bryan and
Taven Bryan.
Pick.
So there's a lot of potential there to be just an outstanding room with just a monster rotation going on. But I think that really speaks to the slightly change of topic, but on the age thing, it really was emphasized on that Troy Hill trade. I mean,
Correct.
The dude's 30, right? So there's a reason why they're willing to move on for him. There's a reason why they're comfortable with a 5th round pick. Now, I think that's value for sure, but they're getting rid of caps. They're taking out some of the cap space requirements that they have, so giving themselves more flexibility. Plus, they're moving on while a guy still has value. And they feel comfortable doing it because they've got such a stacked cornerback room and they know it. But the age is a big factor in that. That's why you're not willing to pay a Jarvis Landry $15 million.
Well, and that's, like Denzel Ward just signed his extension, right? He's 25 years old. There were dudes in this draft that were older than he was.
Yeah.
So it's like you're getting that number, and he's still, Father Time, except for Tom Brady, apparently he's undefeated.
Right.
So
and he's still retired
into their second contract earlier is a great thing.
Right. Well, it is a great thing because you think about it, like especially if you're looking for if it's a cornerstone piece. Typically, you lock a dude like that down for 5 years. If after the draft they come in 2021, right, and they've played their 4 or 5 years on that rookie contract, now they're coming out of that rookie contract 24, 25, maybe 26, but now they're not much older than 30 by the time you add them for that extra 5 years, and then potentially if they're still performing at an elite level, maybe you can even extend them for a year or two after that and still have good value out of them.
Absolutely. Mahomes just missed on that deep one. Now he's going to spin and throw. He kind of spun away from it. It's going to pick up Juju Smith-Schuster for a first down. Of course, Juju, the new receiver target in town for Pat Mahomes. As you could definitely argue overall that room got worse by losing Hill, Robinson, and Pringle. So it's going to be a whole bunch of Hardman and Juju.
Oh yeah, and Hardman has been huge in that role for the Chiefs. He's just been so good. Not a lot of Juju, but you've seen a ton of Mecole Hardman really coming out of his shell and being a big part of this offense. Obviously, look for the rookie also that they just drafted. Ooh,
big hit, and it's going to be fumbled and picked up by the Rams. Asamoah, the rookie, did the hitting and the scooping.
I was going to say,
nice play for him.
Look for Sky Moore to take some, their new draft pick to take some of that Tyreek Hill role out of this offense, to try to do some of those kinds of things. But yeah, certainly the wide receiver 1 role really being taken over in a big way here in Mecole Hardman and our sim.
Absolutely.
But all for naught after a big shuck to CEH. Jars loose the ball, and here come the Rams.
Right up the middle. Looks like we're going to get a holding call. That hole was aided by some cheating. Mm-hmm. It's going to go against the center, Brian Allen. Still 10-7. Kind of had some early fireworks, and it's been a little bit of a doldrums of a quarter, which is fine because we've been talking Browns draft. But it'd be nice to see some fireworks here at Super Bowl 57.
Would be fun.
Stafford back to pass. He's going to stand there. Now he's going to shuffle. Now he's going to try to get out of the pocket, and he's going to go down. Be curious to see how it looks. I changed Stafford from a pocket passer to the balanced thing to see if it would get him to try to not just stand. It did look like he was at least trying to leave the pocket that time.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's one of the things to help get around the quarterback glitch, they say, is to make everybody, even if they're pocket passers, balanced or scrambling. So
bit of an ugly overthrow there.
It was 3rd and 26 now for Stafford. Again, still trying to recover from that sack. And now more pressure coming as they blitz late from the outside, and he'll throw it away. Chris Jones absolutely swallows him up, but he is able to get rid of the football, and they're going to have to punt it back to the Chiefs. First down coming. Yeah, I know, and I mean, there's a lot of people that I think people wanted at 44, but if you think about 44 turning into, what did it turn into? Emerson and York and Winfrey?
Yes.
Those are the 3 guys that we got just by getting off of 44. So several of which, I know Alex Wright and Perry and Winfrey, people said they would have been excited about at 44.
Right.
So to get 3 guys for 44, I mean, it felt like at the time it was like, mostly because we were like, we want to have a draft pick soon.
Well, you really answered a lot of your needs, but doing it with best player available because you drafted, so basically you parlayed 1 pick where you could have had a best player available, possibly addressing a need on the team, into 3 picks, 2 of which addressed immediate needs. And then 1 of which, is not necessarily a need, but certainly best player available, and is addressing a future of the team, need. In terms of you had you had Troy Hill, an older guy in that cornerback room, and not that I think they planned to trade him going into it, but it allowed for them to have more flexibility to make that trade. So it's certainly a value in and of itself. So that the value they got out of pick 44 was probably a sum of the parts greater than the 1 pick.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. 2nd and 10 here. Shotgun look for Mahomes. He'll move to the right side. Looks like he's going to take off 30. He will tuck at 35-40, and he'll slide down at the 43-yard line. Pat Mahomes not afraid to get out of the pocket for sure. That's real to his game.
And yeah, I know, Sean, I absolutely agree. Barry absolutely is a wizard at this. And I know Browns fans were screaming we're screaming bloody murder first day, or really second day of the draft after we didn't make a pick and we trade back and pick up 3 guys, and none of them are Perry and Winfrey. I know Q was in particular really upset, because he does not like Alex Wright, which, I think he'll learn to like Alex Wright a lot after, I think the projection on Alex Wright is he's going to be very good. But we'll see how that ends up working out. But what's funny about that is as you go in from day 2, if people are really, really upset, suddenly you see what AB was doing with that trade back.
Yes, for sure.
And you go, as the massive value comes in, and they still get Perry and Winfrey, and they still get the kicker, and they still get and then add to not only to needs but future of the team, and dude is just masterful. I mean, his ability to create value in a draft at the right point is just next level. It really is.
Yes, it is. All right, we're under 10 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Appreciate you joining us.
Can we talk about that truck stick from Higbee there, taking down 2 dudes? He just bowled them both over, forced his ways to the line of scrimmage. That was incredible. I wish we had a replay on that. That was nasty.
Stafford in the 1st and 10 shotgun. And he is going to be back to pass. Fires right side. He's got a nice first down throw to the 44. There's Allen Robinson again. Mike Hughes over there in coverage. I don't think Mike Hughes is on the Chiefs any longer, but he is now. Stafford under center. Throws it right side. Look, very similar pattern. This one's going to be dropped by Robinson. Good coverage by Legirus Sneed.
Yes, Sean, it's exactly right. He found ways to both reduce the salary he had to pay for certain positions based on getting younger and on rookie contracts with an eye towards the future, and moving on from older players and high expensive contracts. I mean, and that's how you create, dominant franchises.
All right. Going to be stopped short by the rookie out of Nebraska, JoJo Doman. They're going to try a long field goal here. Call it 58 yards.
Yeah, I hate those.
And it does not have the leg to go in, so
way better.
Be short.
Way better either to attempt the first down, because at least you're not giving up those 7 yards for where the ball was placed. If you end up with an incomplete pass, or if you don't like your odds at picking up a first down, just punt it, man. Put that coffin corner out there, because the field position game. And I understand Madden doesn't get this at all, and that's why they're doing stupid stuff like that. But when you're looking at the meta of football and how the game is actually done, field position is a massive. Oh, big pick!
Kicked off, big pick. It's Demarius Williams. And unfortunately, it burned him to try to go all the way back across the field with that strong arm. Darius Williams saw it quickly and beat the receiver to the football. Rams football.
And that's why you don't do that. Look how much time that ball is in the air, because he's going across the field. He gives the defense the opportunity to react to where the ball is going and the path of the ball, and then move to a position to make a play on the ball. And he does just that. That's why you don't throw against your body.
Sack fumble, but it's going to be picked up by an O-lineman. Have a little hurdle over the runner. And that's going to be tackled there by the rookie, Brandon Smith. But Chris Jones absolutely blew up that play. And now a 2nd and 18. So both teams having a hard time holding on to the football here all of a sudden.
So real quick, back to my previous comment though, just to finish it up. But yeah, that's if you look at the Madden's execution of football strategy, really the meta of it, they do not fully appreciate the field position portion of the game and how important that is. And trust me, the NFL, the NFL is not at all oblivious to that. They know very, very keenly aware of how important field position is to the game and how much it can swing a game. As a big sack out on the outside there.
Yep, Frank Stafford just got down. They're going to have to punt.
But it's so important, and you know, the NFL is you know, you would not see decisions like that being made, especially if you're not confident that your kicker is gonna for sure put it through at a range like that, or you have to have the points, and this is like your last ditch effort, like the 66-yard Tucker improbable kick that he puts it off the crossbar to win, right? You know, or actually it was a tie, I guess, but to still be in the game. Or was that a win or was that a tie? I can't remember. It may have been a game winner. That NFL Rutgers 66-yard kick last year from Tucker, or the year before.
Cincinnati product. Hey, John, welcome in. Go
Sorry,
Browns.
I think we lost your audio there for a little bit. Last I heard was Cincinnati product, but there was a lot of blank.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
I was re-muting my mic, trying to chase the dog. She's being a little nutty today. Usually I know how to pacify her during the Sims. Today she's like, chase
not
me,
having it.
Chase me, human.
Just not.
3rd and 8 now. 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy joining you, Nagy on Sports. They set up a screen, tipped off the helmet, then picked up by Edwards-Helaire, but he's still going to be a yard short. That play almost worked. 7th catch of the day for Edwards-Helaire, but it will be a 4th and 1. They are in field goal range. Assume Harrison Butker comes in to try to tie this football game.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting choice. An interesting choice. Yeah, they're going to go for it. That's what I was going to say. An interesting choice here because you certainly can go for it unless you do that.
Start.
Now you're forcing the kick. But we'll see, Mason. I'm not so convinced that he's shaky middle, late rounds. I actually think he gets incredible value. Don't forget, DPJ was a sixth round pick. Just because Schwartz
2 years later he'll be a starter that you count on.
Right, just because Schwartz and Togiai haven't really fully popped yet doesn't mean that those guys aren't going to be really, really good for this team in the future. I mean, partly for Schwartz, I think he needed a year, and a lot of receivers take a couple of years to really get going. So give him some time. It's really too early to grade any of AB's drafts truly, because you need at least 3 years, if not 4 or 5, to get a really good sense of how quality any draft is, especially for the later round picks, because they take longer to develop. They're not supposed to be guys you plug in right away, right? They're supposed to be developmental prospects with ceilings that you're trying to work into your system or scheme fits. So, but on the other hand, Nick Harris, he was a 5th round pick. Dude's going to start for the Browns this year. I actually think he's been incredibly good in the middle to late rounds. Give him some time to develop, and I think we're going to see some good things out of all of those guys. I've been incredibly impressed with AB's draft, start to finish, for every year he's been here.
Stafford now back to pass. Going to be hit as he throws. It's a wobbler. Oh, he had it in his hand. So did Brendan Smith.
How do you not pick that? I think they were fighting each other. Yeah.
Linebacker fight, and it's going to be 4th and 6. And a punt upcoming here at this 10-10 nail biter of a Super Bowl. Super Bowl 57 from Scottsdale. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy on Sports joining you. Appreciate everybody being on. Again, give me a couple days to get the draft class in. I don't want to put a target date on it, but I'm very much hoping that we can be watching Browns preseason football by the end of this week or weekend.
Yeah, that would be fun. Very, very much looking forward to it.
And yeah, we'll do, Kit and I are still trying to find time in our schedule to do our official draft analysis video, even though we've pretty much done all of the analysis over the course of these couple of Sims, but at least we can put it in one happy place. 2nd and 5. Mahomes in a shotgun. Last 30 seconds of the third quarter here. And Edwards-Helaire picks up the first down. Just his 9th touch. He's been pretty solid today. 7 catches out of the backfield as well. A healthy Edwards-Helaire definitely changes their offense. And of course, Ronald Jones will be the second running back in the backfield this year for Kansas City. How about a blitz coming up? Is Jordan Fuller go box, and he's going to get Mahomes down on the ground. Blitzing from that safety spot again. The player that took over for John Johnson III, made him a captain in his second year. Jordan Fuller with a big sack there.
You have to feel like this game is just waiting on a game break. It's been so
really
just not bad, just like almost anticlimactic so far.
Yeah,
where it's just been like
so.
You're waiting for that punch, and at some point one of these teams is going to do it. But just waiting for that game break.
Indeed. Here's a 3rd and 8. Mahomes running for his life again, and he'll chuck it out of bounds. So a punt upcoming here as we just start the fourth quarter here for our end of the pre-draft faux 2022 sim season. Its purpose was to get us from the Super Bowl to the draft, and it did just that.
It sure did.
Almost perfectly on its timing. So a little chance to have a little fun. Now, of course, it stinks that a couple of the players we fell in love with, DeMarvin Leal and George Pickens, are both on the Steelers now. So that's going to be a little hard to swallow.
Oh yeah, that's going to be rough. That's going to be rough.
But we'll make it work.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Oh man, was DeMarvin Leal good for us? I wasn't as upset about Pickens going to the Steelers, but man, did that hurt to see DeMarvin Leal go to the Steelers. And I'm like, no! If he's anywhere near as good as he is in the sim, he's going to be just a game wrecker. Take over for Hayward one day kind of thing. Yeah, and they're just like, oh man, that's rough. Like as if we needed 10 more years of that.
Yes, indeed. All right, 1st and 10 after Cooper Kupp is able to get across the line to gain and out of bounds. Turn around, give it to Cam Akers. He's up the middle. Nice blocking, nice little wiggle in the hole, and he's going to fight his way near the first down. They're going to give him 9 on the carry, Cam Akers. Florida State prospect, of course, tore that ACL and came back or was it his Achilles? I can't remember. Injured something like in the summer and played by the end of the season. Just a wildly fast recovery. I think maybe it was Achilles because they were talking about Ajabo had a similar thing and that he could be back by the end of the season if need be. Nick Bolton in there on run defense, on run support. It's a stern look of Pat Mahomes on the sideline trying to get the troops fired up, I guess. 2nd and 11 for Matt Stafford. He's going to be in the shotgun. He is back to pass against the 4-man rush. Broken double team again for Chris Jones and an incomplete pass. So just another example of how pressure's creating completions, even though there's not really a stat on the stat sheet for that without getting into the deep analytics. 3rd and 11, they flow a really short pass to Van Jefferson, and that will lead to a punt. So you're right, kid. Neither team really able to make that kind of that knockout blow or the blow that gets everybody fired up.
Well, they're not. I mean, it's not been like a purely defensive struggle in that they're not just both going 3 and out the whole time. They've had successful plays. They've had a few, some first downs, handful of first downs each, where they're just like they're starting to get stuff done. They're starting to work down the field, but they're not consistently putting it together or that like momentum swinging just huge play to break the game open. You haven't seen any of that from either team. You're just kind of waiting. It's like with bated breath for some team to take advantage here.
Another wobbler off, and another dropped interception from Taylor Rapp.
Taylor Rapp does not miss that. I'm sorry, that drop is never happening from Taylor Rapp. An easy duck like that, right in his hands, and slow. It was like a slow pitch coming in. I mean, it was like he practically lobbed it to him, and you're just like, Taylor Rapp, there's no way he's going to drop that. He's way too much of a ball hawk for that.
Thinking about his touchdown dance, maybe.
Something.
Mahomes zips it to the left side. He's got MVS. Valdez Scantling, another receiver in the building there, too. So you got Smith-Schuster, Hardman, Valdez Scantling, and then Sky Moore. It's a pretty solid room, but I still would argue not as good as they had with Robinson, Pringle, Hardman, and Hill.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Mason, it really was a lot of fun watching him as he's barking right out the gate and just like so excited and can't even contain himself as he's like, pacing all around his room there. The dude's so excited to be next to Myles Garrett, and he is so amped to be with the Browns. And one of the things, one of the things I took the most, that I was most excited about from that, not just the energy level and all that stuff. All that stuff was great. I'm very excited about it. I think it's gonna bode well for him with the Browns, and he's going to be one of those important locker room pieces that's really going to bring that D-line together in a lot of ways and bring that energy every rep. But the thing I think I was most excited about from that is that as the Chiefs are going to go for this on 4th and 1 midfield, or 4th and inches, really.
Around, give it to the tight end lineup as a fullback, Noah Gray, and he's got it.
Ooh, but Kelsey going to get hurt.
Ooh, you're right.
Yeah, that could be real bad for the Chiefs. But the one thing I took away from that interview that I even to the locker room, that's real bad.
Done for the day. 7 minutes and 34 seconds without him. That's
not ideal. But the one thing I really took away from that I liked a lot was the fact that he went in saying, talking about the fact that he felt he should have gone sooner, but his reaction to that was like, look, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use that as fuel, but I don't care where I went in the draft. I'm with a team I'm really excited about. This is going to be great. He was not at all down on the fact that he slid and the Browns, scooped him up kind of thing. He was just like, this is an opportunity. I'm going to make the most of it. He's absolutely stoked to be playing with Myles Garrett. He's going to use some of that to fuel the fire kind of thing, but he doesn't even need that, is what the sense of it was, He's like, it doesn't matter. I got drafted. I'm excited. I got a new team, a new opportunity. I'm gonna make something and do something here with this. So that was the part of the interview I was most excited about, I think.
For sure. Edwards-Helaire up the middle for about 3, sets up a 3rd and 7. And Mahomes going to take off. Nope, he's going to chuck it to the end zone. Receiver single coverage, jump on. He brings it down, but he's out of bounds.
Yeah, I feel like he should have taken off. He'd have had that first down easily. Yes. Instead, takes a risky jump ball situation without Travis Kelce. If that's Travis Kelce, yeah, probably maybe that's a good shot and an opportunity to come down with it, because you almost feel like Travis Kelce does have a touchdown there. But instead, it is not Travis Kelce, and therefore not a touchdown and no first down resultingly, and only a field goal.
13-10, though. They do break the tie. 5.5 to go. Matthew Stafford with an opportunity for a game-tying or winning drive here in Super Bowl 57.
Yeah, in 5 minutes, 38
could get himself back-to-back.
That's right. 5 minutes, 38 seconds is just the right amount of clock time to have a nice, productive, but not explosive drive to put together some pieces and parts and keep the positive plays moving. And if you do it right, you can end up with like 0 ticks left on the game, touchdown, game over, ball game.
Got to get some conversions, and this one's the first one, 3rd and 6. Shotgun look for Stafford. And a draw that loses yards. Ugh.
What a terrible play call. Come on.
Agreed, and that's going to give the football right back to the Chiefs, who can just try to wind the clock down now.
Yeah, I mean, that was the 3rd and medium. You should have been probably. I mean, yes, you can run the ball, but not on a draw. If you're gonna run the ball, run like a stretch. Run yourself a counter. Do something that's gonna get you the yardage. But more likely, you probably want to scheme something up to be cross the line to gain, and have a couple options on a schemed play. That's what you want to be doing on 3rd and 6.
Agreed. Mahomes quickly out of the backfield. Edwards-Helaire again. He's caught a boatload of footballs today from Patrick Mahomes. He's been really, really involved in the pass game a lot here today. 2nd and 1 now. Time the biggest factor for the Rams. Up the middle, Edwards-Helaire, and he'll be met aggressively by Nick Cross, the rookie safety, right in the middle of the gap.
Yes, unfortunately, Mason, Madden is going to Madden. You're right.
Yes, always. 3rd and 1. This is a big one. Back to pass. Mahomes, no pressure. Wide open. Hardman. He's got nobody around him. First down, and now they're into field goal range as well. And this one's going to click all the way down to the 2-minute warning if they want it to. Rams not going to call any timeouts until after the 2-minute warning. We know that.
I guess the one thing I would say about that is the game is aptly named. It did rather take on the personality of John Madden, didn't it?
That's true.
I know he was a beloved commentator. Yeah, I know he's a beloved commentator, but let's be fair. He was not exactly the best in the business in terms of like going with just the blatantly and painfully obvious, and or the just misunderstanding of what was going on.
2nd and 3 now after the first timeout called up the middle. Aaron Donald gets off of his block, Trey Smith, and is able to bring him to the ground. And here's a big 3rd and 2. They have 1 timeout remaining, so they can stop the clock. They'd get the football back with about 1:45. Unless Mahomes can convert this first down, in which case it's probably ball game. Mahomes, he's back to pass. Left side, it's caught. He steps around him to the 10, to the 5, Smith-Schuster to the 1, and it'll go down.
Wow.
That's probably curtains.
That feels absolutely like curtains right there. Then they're
going to kneel. They're not even going to run another play.
Wow.
From the 1.
With 1:45, though. That's like, why are you kneeling here?
But now they're going to line up in a formation.
That was just a waste of a yard. What are you doing?
I have no idea. So they're going to run the play this time. They're going to give it to the left side, and it's an easy walk into the end zone for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and that's going to do it. Chief Heads, Arrowhead Nation, I don't know what they call themselves.
Well, the game break came, but it came like real late with under 2 minutes left in the game was the final game break, and it was that Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yes, it was.
Who, by the way, had been very quiet throughout both this game and the previous game in that number 2 role for the Chiefs. Not really doing a lot, but then suddenly making a huge play, breaking a tackle to make that happen down the sideline, getting down to the 1, and making all of this possible and putting this game out of reach. Credit Juju with coming up in clutch.
For sure. Great play. And yep, George, the Chiefs are going to get this dubs again unless something real crazy happens.
Well, we did see something just absolutely improbable happen in that Patriots
14
game.
Points. Yeah,
that's right.
Did.
No, more than that, they scored 21 almost.
21 points in the last
it was like
couple of the last minute of the game. Stafford will fire left side. He's got Cooper, but he goes over top of everybody's head. L'Jarius Sneed, step for step. Apparently, L'Jarius Sneed is a superstar. I didn't notice that one before. Back to pass. Pressure coming from Jones again. They're going to hit him, and it somehow squirts out of bounds.
Yeah, I want to say, like, in the fourth quarter, they were down like 28 points, and they came back 21 of those.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was absolutely insane.
You never go full Madden. You're right, Mason. Welcome in, Chris G. Hope you're having a good Monday. Again, I'm not going to saddle myself to a specific date and then not deliver, but I'm going to do my best here over the next couple days to get all the draft picks in. And then my hope is that by later this week or by the weekend, we'll be able to be watching some real Browns preseason action with York and Winfrey and all the cats in there for sure. So that's at least the goal that I'm trying to hold myself to. I also need to clean up the playbook a little bit so we stop seeing that fake fullback dive pitch that takes 19 seconds to develop.
Right. But we're very excited about it. It's obviously I think we're as excited about it as you are. So
yeah, for sure.
So definitely looking forward to it. And if I could help, I don't have access from here, but if I could help, I would be helping to get all this squared away as quickly as I could. But unfortunately, it's kind of on Phil because I don't have access from over here in California to do any of that.
We haven't figured that part of the technology out yet.
That's
right. That's it. 20-10. Chiefs will get the dub. I'll start cycling through the stats. Kit, wrap it up.
Well, like we kind of said in the game, it was a bit of a snooze fest through most of it. Really, only one big explosive play to hang your hat on, which ended up being the game break really late within that last 2 minutes. And it was that Juju Smith-Schuster showing his veteran, pulling out his veteran card and that crafty veteran move as he was able to corral the catch and then avoid a tackler to work down towards the end zone, but stopping short, which was a crucial part of it too, because it meant that they could take a knee, burn off some additional clock, puts them, an easy touchdown off the outside from Clyde Edwards-Helaire to punch it in, but then put them out of reach. That made it a two-score game with less than a minute, and that was all she wrote. So, not the most exciting Super Bowl we've ever seen here at Nagy on Sports, but sometimes it's all it takes is that back and forth and that one that one play. The football can be boiled down to just a handful of critical plays. A lot of games, and that could be the difference. And sure enough, we really were able to boil it down to one critical play here that made all the difference in this one.
Absolutely. Christy, I think that one went away with the previous iteration of the game. I think.
Yes.
Knock on wood. We hadn't seen that since Madden 21.
Well, it wouldn't be Keenum anyway, since he's no longer on the roster.
That's right. At least it would be Jacoby Brissett.
That's right. It would much rather that.
Slightly better chance of success.
You're right.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being on, everybody. Make sure you stay dialed into the Discord or use the link in this video's description to get onto the Discord. We'll definitely make sure we let you know when we're going live with our first Browns games and or draft analysis video. So really appreciate it. Thanks so much to our subscribers. We've gained about 6 subscribers in the last week, so thank you. Really, really appreciate that. And for Kit out on the left coast, Phil here in Central Ohio, we are Nagy on Sports. Congratulations to the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes and company, for winning Super Bowl 57 in our faux 2022 sim. We'll be back with the official 2022 sim here just in a couple of days. So really appreciate everybody. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. And as always, go